Today I want to talk about history, and there's a lot of different ways that we can go about talking about history and looking at history. There's numerous frameworks that exist, but I want to talk about one in particular, and I think it could be useful, and that's known as the conspiratorial worldview of history. And when we think of conspiracy theorists, we have an image that's been perpetuated by the media of crackpots or weirdos or someone like this. But I'm interested in talking about conspiracy theory in a new way. And I think we can actually use it as a term to be proud of, to take pride in conspiracy theorizing. Essentially, the conspiratorial view of history is that the main driving force of what we think of as history is, in fact, not so much a collision of different random events or a sort of scientifically quantifiable picture of things as they happen, as a sort of cause and effect. The conspiratorial view of history is based around intention. That is the defining feature of the conspiratorial worldview. Intention as being the main driving force. Not the only, but the main driving force of history. And so we can talk about intention in a lot of different ways, and we can also, intention assumes an intendor. And who is this intendor? And that's kind of the main question of most conspiracy theorizing. And so, of course, we have a variety of different answers, and a variety of different systems in which it's shown that certain parties throughout history are able to affect things. William Bramley talks about the third party principle, and he relates this back to Machiavelli, who kind of set out certain guidelines on how a third party could separate and encourage the fighting between two other parties, and then have these parties look to this third party as a solution or as a beneficent sort of savior from this crisis. It's a created crisis, though, created by a third party, and we can look at quite a lot of the conflicts of history in a similar way. And Bramley relates this back to UFOs and to the possibility that stories of gods from cultures around the world are actually stories of descending extraterrestrial forces, which have been setting up certain secret societies and this sort of thing. Now we start to talk about secret societies, and we open up sort of a new can of worms. One of the most compelling stories that's sort of held a lot of people's imagination throughout history is the story of the Templars. And I think it's a very important story for us to think about today, because the Templars are credited as inventing the world's first truly modern banking system. And so it's very easy to kind of extrapolate on this into how these systems, whether directly or indirectly, affect the current economic system. And it's for this reason that I think the conspiratorial worldview could be very helpful in today's economic crisis.